Konnichiwa, and welcome to your Pacific Magazine. I'm Senior Airman Ashley Powell, and on this edition, we're in the land of the rising sun for exercise Orient Shield 14. Orient Shield is an annual bilateral tactical field training exercise co-hosted by the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force and U.S. Army Japan. This marks the 28th iteration of this exercise, which is designed to enhance U.S. and Japanese combat readiness and interoperability at the tactical level, while strengthening relationships and demonstrating U.S. resolve to support the security interests of friends and allies in the region. Since its inception in 1985, Orient Shield has focused on the development and refinement of JGSDF and USRJ efforts in the areas of bilateral tactical planning and coordination. Army Sergeant Jeremy Brott takes us to a special event to welcome the first arriving U.S. troops.
U.S. soldiers participating in exercise Orient Shield were given a unique opportunity to observe a Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force tank competition.
It was good to work with the Japanese today and seeing how they use as a ground defense force. It's good to see how they use their tactics compared to how we use ours.
For the members of the Japanese tank crews, this was an opportunity to not only demonstrate their skills for their U.S. counterparts, but to hone them as well.
In the coming 10 years or more, we will be using this tank, and every year we train, our proficiency will go up, so expect us to get better in the future.
The experience proved educational for the U.S. soldiers observing the training, providing a greater understanding of the capabilities and effectiveness of the Japanese tanks.
And also lets us know that they're confident in their jobs, so that way we know we can work side by side with them and have a level of confidence when we work side by side with the Japanese.
I was a little nervous, but the relationship between Japan and the US won't be broken so easily, so I think this is a good exchange opportunity.
After all the U.S. participants arrived, the exercise kicked off with an opening ceremony at Camp Kita Chitose on Japan's northern island of Hokkaido. The participating U.S. soldiers joined JGSDF members from the 11th Infantry Regiment, 7th Division, Northern Army for inaugural remarks from their commanders.
From the moment we arrived at this great training base, Camp Chitose, the 7th Armored Division has been dedicated partners, and I'm looking forward to continue to grow that relationship throughout this exercise. Together we will refine our interoperability and demonstrate our continued dedication to the development of both our teams.
Orient Shield 14 is the third and final exercise in the first iteration of U.S. Army Pacific's Pacific Pathways Initiative for the forward expeditionary presence of USAR-PAC forces in the Asia-Pacific. Approximately 700 soldiers from the 2-2 Striker Brigade Combat Team, 7th Infantry Division I Corps from Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington, were deployed to execute exercises Garuda Shield, Kara Strike, and Orient Shield, the three exercises that make up the Pacific Pathways Initiative. A battalion-sized element of 2-2 SBCT deployed to Indonesia for Garuda Shield, and a smaller element deployed to Malaysia for exercise Kara Strike. These three exercises offer realistic training in a variety of climates, terrains, and environments necessary to maintain unified land operations readiness. To mark the first day of field training for Orient Shield, both forces demonstrated their armored combat vehicles' capabilities. The JGSDF's Type 96 track vehicle is similar to the U.S. Striker-wheeled fighting vehicle, as they both fire a 120mm mortar system.
Our vehicle can be completely digital, which means it's a lot more faster and accurate than actually having to pull out maps, and they have to lay in their track vehicles using compasses and dismounted personnel, where we can just pull in and with our digital systems. They really like that about our Strikers. They're pretty amazed at that capability and how fast it is, because where it takes them about 2.5 minutes to set up, it takes us like 15 to 30 seconds.
I've never seen the vehicle Strikers, but today is my in the cockpit and discipline systems. It's nice on the open display.
This interaction is more than learning about the weapon systems and field tactics. It further increases interoperability between U.S. forces and the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force.
We're very grateful to have this opportunity in order to train with our Japanese counterparts. Even though they're tracked vehicles and we're wheeled and light, we're still learning a lot from each other, and they're very grateful for the opportunity that we had to get over here to train with them and we're taking advantage of every second that we can to learn as much as we can from each other.
These combat soldiers will continue to learn from one another in the coming days in preparation for the final field training exercise that will conclude Orient Shield. But not all the training happens on the ground. We take to the skies for the aerosol element of the exercise. Aviation soldiers from 3rd Battalion, 25th Combat Aviation Regiment based out of Wheeler Field, Hawaii, are partnering with Japan Ground Self-Defense Force members from the 7th Aviation Unit from Sapporo for the aerial portion of Orient Shield. Throughout the training exercise, the two aviation units are working together to conduct scenario-based operational planning, aeromedical evacuations, and aircraft refueling. One of the focused training opportunities was the 3-day aerosol exercise that combined 15 Army and JGSDF aircraft and over 200 personnel conducting flight operations. The training included U.S. Army UH-60 Black Hawk and AH-64E Apache helicopters, along with the JGSDF CH-47 Chinook.
It's interesting to see how we arrive at the same goal for the mission with our different procedures, learn how to work together on a common mission with similar airframes.
During an air assault, aviators insert groups of JGSDF and U.S. infantry soldiers into an objective area, using procedures that allow them to attack or evade an enemy force.
We're working primarily to integrate with the Japanese moving aviation forces, combined effort, conducting air assaults, air-to-ground integration, mostly working to improve each other's techniques and learn from each other.
While the aviation units take to the skies, we return to the ground soldiers from the 2nd Stryker Brigade Combat Team's 2nd Infantry Division, as they are given the opportunity to qualify for the Japan Ground Self-Defense Force's Marksmanship Badge.
Today's event gives us the opportunity to qualify our weapons using the Japanese system of qualification, and we have 29 rounds to do it. It is 9 rounds to 0 our M4s, 10 rounds of practice, and 10 rounds to actually qualify from both the prone and kneeling positions.
The soldiers used their own weapons for the event, but were aided by a Japanese firing evaluation monitor system that records where the round hit the 300-meter target, allowing them to adjust their shots if needed.
Right now we're doing it's a qualification, their qualification. You know, it's a little bit different from ours, but it's good training. I shot 30 out of 50. For Japanese qualification, to pass is 24, so I did pretty good today.
This marksmanship event provides a further exchange of techniques and a demonstration of weapons systems.
It's an honor, you know, you're used to your standard, you know, U.S. qualification, and then you go and you get to do something like this. You know, it's not something that you're gonna do every day. You know, matter of fact, maybe not even your Army career. So I mean, just the chance, just that they were nice enough to just let us come out here and shoot, so that's just amazing for them to do that.
As the marksmanship training wraps up at the firing range, Army Sergeant Kingston Dillard takes us to the field where the snipers are exhibiting their expertise.
Following a competition, snipers from the U.S. Army and Japan Ground Self-Defense Force came together at a range to bond while demonstrating their weaponry and skills.
It's nice to work with somebody that's, you know, on our level of competition. They have really good gear. They're well trained. They're very professional. This range is one of the most professionals I think I've shot. So it's been a great experience here shooting with the Japanese.
This exercise may be designed to strengthen bonds between two nations, but soldiers are walking away with much more.
Everybody's having a lot of fun out here. We go back and talk about it, you know, after the range, and it's just a lot of fun. I think more fun because we're in Japan shooting with the Japanese. So that's our biggest takeaway, is getting to come out here and actually talk to them afterwards. See their ghillie suits, see their rifles, you know, their gear, how it matches up to ours, and just sitting around talking with them, I think, is the best part for me.
An accident has occurred. After being hit by a car, a soldier faces a possible spinal injury. He will have to be transported to a local hospital, and it's up to the soldiers of the Brigade Support Medical Company to get him there. Good thing that this is only practice.
Few issues initially, whether they'd fit on top of their stretchers, the amount of space inside of the ambulance, but actually worked out to really be a non-issue. From start to finish, everything worked out pretty well.
The soldiers must effectively communicate with their Japanese counterparts as the patient is handed off for transport.
They were quick. I mean, they got here faster than I think we expected. Even with the drivers were on point. They got out of their vehicle, you know, secured the area, backed up the ambulance, and worked with us pretty well getting the patient actually in the back of the ambulance. So really, I mean, they did a great job.
by expanding military-to-military relations through bilateral exercises like Orient Shield. It allows for a better response to future contingencies and fosters an even stronger relationship between Japan and the United States.
I would like to thank the 7th Division and the 11th Regiment for making a very successful exercise, an experience that my soldiers will never forget.
I think over the last 2.5 weeks we had the awesome opportunity to do collective and individual training. Not only at that level, but it's partnered. It's partnered with the ground Japanese Defense Force, who has been awesome partners at every level. So, 60% of my task force has never deployed. And so them coming here to Japan to do training with these great soldiers has been wonderful for them.
While Colonel Ziesman is grateful for the hospitality from their Japanese hosts, he also recognizes the hard work put in by his soldiers during the exercise.
Our soldiers are what make our Army special. It's not our equipment, and every day when I watch them train out in the field, I'm very, very proud of them. So everybody back home at Joint Base Lewis McChord and across the Army, they should be very, very proud of our young soldiers. They are really the treasure of our Army, and I'm very, very proud of them. Seize the high ground.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of Pacific Magazine. A special thanks to the Orient Shield Media Operations Center, along with Army Sergeants Kingston Dillard and Jeremy Brott for their video contributions. I'm Senior Airman Ashley Powell, and from all of us at AFM Pacific, thanks for watching.